Today, we're exploring a discovery that may seem simple. This is the story of J. Thomson, a man who made the first crack in our understanding of the atom. Through experiments and shifting ideas, this discovery changed the direction of science itself. Listen carefully, and you'll see why without Thomson, there would be no Rutherford, no Bohr model, and no modern physics as we know it. So if you enjoy stories that challenge the way you think, subscribe and stay with PastMind. Now, let's return to a time when the atom was thought to be unbreakable, and meet the man who proved otherwise. Have you ever wondered what everything around us is truly made of? For centuries, people thought the smallest thing was an atom, a tiny, indivisible ball. But then, one brilliant physicist came along and completely shattered that idea, opening up a whole new world inside the atom. His name was J. Thomson, and today we're diving into the story of the man who discovered the electron. Joseph John Thomson, or JJ as he was known, was born in 1856 in a suburb of Manchester, England. His father was a bookseller, and from a young age, JJ was a voracious reader with a brilliant mind. He was originally supposed to become an apprentice engineer, but fate had other plans. When his father passed away, the family couldn't afford the apprenticeship fees. So, at just 14 years old, he enrolled at Owens College, which later became the University of Manchester. His talent for mathematics and physics was immediately obvious. He was so gifted that he won a scholarship to Trinity College, Cambridge, one of the most prestigious universities in the world. Imagine that, a teenager from a modest background, suddenly walking the same halls as Isaac Newton. Thomson thrived in this environment. He was a bit shy and sometimes clumsy in the lab, but his theoretical mind was second to none. He graduated with top honors in mathematics and soon dedicated himself to experimental physics. In 1884, a huge opportunity came knocking. At the incredibly young age of 28, Thomson was appointed as the Cavendish Professor of Experimental Physics at Cambridge, taking over the legendary Cavendish Laboratory. This was a massive deal. The previous professor had been Lord Rayleigh, a Nobel laureate, and many senior physicists were skeptical. They thought Thomson was too young and lacked experience in the lab. But they would soon be proven very, very wrong. Under Thomson's leadership, the Cavendish Lab became the world's leading center for atomic physics. He wasn't just a brilliant scientist. He was an incredible mentor. He had a knack for spotting talent and creating an environment where young researchers could flourish. It's said that his greatest discovery wasn't just the electron, but the discovery of a whole generation of brilliant physicists. An astonishing number of his students and assistants went on to win Nobel Prizes themselves, including Ernest Rutherford, the man who would later discover the atomic nucleus. So, let's get to the main event, the discovery of the electron. In the late 1890s, scientists were fascinated by something called cathode rays. When you take a glass tube, pump out most of the air, and apply a high voltage across it, a mysterious glow, a ray, travels from the negative electrode, the cathode, to the positive electrode, the anode. What were these rays made of? Were they waves, like light? Or were they a stream of particles? The scientific community was divided. German physicists generally believed they were waves, while British and French physicists leaned towards the particle theory. Thomson decided to settle the debate once and for all. He set up a series of brilliant experiments. First, he wanted to see if cathode rays carried a negative charge. He used a magnet to bend the rays and directed them towards an electrometer, a device that measures electric charge. Sure enough, the electrometer registered a negative charge. This strongly suggested the rays were made of negatively charged particles. But his opponents argued that maybe the negative charge was just something carried along by the rays, not the rays themselves. So, Thomson designed a clever experiment. He used an electric field to try and bend the rays. At first, it didn't work. The rays passed straight through. He realized that the remaining air in the tube was being ionized and was shielding the rays from the electric field. So he worked tirelessly to create a much better vacuum inside his cathode ray tube. And then it happened. With the improved vacuum, he applied the electric field, and the beam of cathode rays bent towards the positive plate. This was the smoking gun. It proved, without a doubt, that the rays were composed of negatively charged particles. He called these particles corpuscles. We now call them electrons. But Thomson didn't stop there. He was on a roll. He wanted to know more about these corpuscles. How big were they? How much charge did they carry? This is where his genius truly shone. By carefully measuring how much the rays were deflected by both magnetic and electric fields, he was able to calculate something incredible: the charge-to-mass ratio of these particles. And the result was mind-blowing. He found that the charge-to-mass ratio of these corpuscles was over 1,000 times larger than that of a hydrogen ion, which was the lightest known particle at the time. This could mean one of two things. Either these corpuscles had a ridiculously huge charge, or they had a tiny, tiny mass. Thomson correctly bet on the latter. He concluded that these particles were incredibly small, much smaller than a single atom. In 1897, he announced his findings. It was a revolutionary moment in science. For 2,000 years, the atom had been considered the fundamental, indivisible building block of matter. Thomson had just proven that atoms had smaller parts inside them. He had discovered the first subatomic particle. The indivisible atom was, in fact, divisible. Based on his discovery, Thomson proposed a new model of the atom. Since atoms are electrically neutral overall, and he had found these tiny negative particles, he reasoned there must also be some positive charge to balance it out. He envisioned the atom as a sphere of uniform positive charge, with the negatively charged electrons dotted throughout it, sort of like plums in a pudding or raisins in a muffin. This became famously known as the plum pudding model. Now we know today that the plum pudding model isn't correct. It was later superseded by Rutherford's nuclear model, which showed that the positive charge is concentrated in a tiny nucleus at the center. But Thomson's model was a crucial and necessary step. It was the first model that tried to explain the internal structure of the atom based on experimental evidence. It laid the foundation for all of modern atomic physics. For his groundbreaking work on the conduction of electricity by gases, which included the discovery of the electron, J.J. Thomson was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1906. His legacy is immense. He not only changed our understanding of the universe as fundamental structure, but also cultivated a research environment that produced a whole lineage of scientific giants. Interestingly, science ran in the family. His son, George Paget Thomson, also became a physicist and, in a fascinating twist of fate, won his own Nobel Prize in 1937 for showing that the electron, the particle his father discovered, also behaves like a wave. So, the father won a Nobel Prize for proving the electron is a particle, and the son won a Nobel Prize for proving it's also a wave. That's the wonderfully strange world of quantum mechanics for you. J.J. Thomson continued his work at Cambridge until his retirement in 1919, passing the torch to his star student, Ernest Rutherford. He passed away in 1940 and was buried in Westminster Abbey, close to Isaac Newton and Charles Darwin, a testament to his monumental contributions to science. So the next time you turn on a light, use your phone, or watch TV, all technologies that rely on controlling the flow of electrons, take a moment to remember J.J. Thomson, the quiet, brilliant man who peered into a glowing glass tube and revealed a hidden universe inside the atom, forever changing the way we see the world. Thanks for watching. If you found this story of discovery as fascinating as I did, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the history of science. Let me know in the comments which scientist you'd like to hear about next. See you in the next video.